Thank you for taking this moment to breathe and to listen to what can change your life forever. My name is Ragnar Zinikas, and I'm the founder of Starpreneurs TV, Terminate to Decade talk show, World Women Conference and Awards. And as an international speaker and coach of the change makers, my mission is to empower through education. So I want to thank you today by showing up. You are investing in your personal growth. And I couldn't be happier because today we are bringing some heavy lifters from Mexico. So without any further ado, today I have the honor to talk with Roberto Arechederra, consultant and speaker with extensive experience in corporate and personal finance, strategy, and corporate governance. He is also the founder of Bursar, investment banking and consulting firm. He's also a creator of positive trend model that has helped many companies to achieve outstanding growth and probability. So Roberto for sure is someone that you do not want to miss. So take your pens, take your paper, and take notes. Roberto, welcome to Dominate the Decade with me. Tell us your story, who you are, and why are you really doing what you're doing?
Thanks, Ragnar, for having me in your show. It's a great honor. And thanks for the question. To be honest, I'm a very simple guy. I study finance. And all my life, I've been working on that, trying to help people through finance. And I think one important part of this is, why do I start working in finance? And I have to share with you a small story of my youthness. And it's very brief, but I think people will understand why do I study finance. I was heading to a camp with some of my classmates during high school. And everyone was talking about what we're going to study at the time. Some were applying for law school, some for engineering, and I was applying for finance. And everyone turned to me and say, "Hey, you only like the money. You're not trying to give something to the world, to contribute with something." And I say that is not true, because finance has a lot of contribution to give to the world. And that's why I came with this idea that is managing my life, and it changed me the way that I see the world. And it's like finance can change the world. Why? Because if you help a company in order to be better with their finance, they will be able to pay better wages. Better wages will give the possibility to the employees to have better families, better community, better city, better country, better world. And I think that is something very important. And I founded the Bursar investment banking after working in several companies. First, I made like a life route in order to be a person that can give something to my clients, because my belief is that you can't give something that you don't have. You have first to grow in order to help others to grow, and then you start contributing, and you also grow with the peoples that you involve with. But first you have to be able to give something, and that's why first I work in several companies, as first as a regular employee, then as a CFO, and then I had the chance to be CEO of three companies. And that's how I learned the other side of the business, the side of the point of view of from the company. And then I give the step to be independent, and I started Bursar, where what we do in Bursar, as you mentioned, we do investment banking, and we help companies in order to fund their projects and to be able to make it real, and to be able to the business make it happen. And that's mostly what we do. And that's the main thing. I study finance. I study my MBA in IPADE, and also have a couple of programs in Stanford University. And I also had a specialty degree in Madrid stock market, studying company finance and analysis. That's mostly my story, Ragnar.
Beautiful. Now, telling that you are really in love with numbers. And when we talk about passion and purpose in life, then someone would for sure think that, oh my God, this is going to be so dry answer. But knowing you, I think that this answer is going to be absolutely great. So, Roberto, after have been able to build up your legacy and helping others through everything that you do, what can you say today? What is your purpose and passion in life?
Well, my passion is to help people and to make a contribution to the world, and I make it through finance. And I give advice to people. I not only give advice on corporate finance, but also I give advice for personal finance. And I truly believe that if people change the way they see the money, and they are able to have a better personal finance, they can contribute more to the world, and that will make a better world. That's my passion, to help people to have better finance. And I have also a little story for you in that matter. Imagine that I've been working in finance all my life, and I've been having the opportunity to be in also in TV for many years, working in Televisa, giving the finance for everyone, and I give advices for personal finance there. But one time I took my little kid to a toy store because it was his birthday. And the guard that was taking care of the parking lot of that business, of the toy store, approached me, and he asked me, "Hey, are you Roberto, the one from TV?" And I said, "Yes, I am Roberto from the TV." And he said, "I want to thank you because in one time you mentioned how to pay the credit cards. And I was loaded with credit card debt. And I took notes and I did what you mentioned has to be done." And he said, I don't have any more debt in my credit card. So I thank you for that. And I say, wow, you're making my day. Because when you give advice to people, but you're hoping that they do what you are advising, and that will help, and that advice will help them. And but at the time, he's also said, but that's not the only thing that happened. You also mentioned how to save money, and now I have 50,000 pesos saved in my personal finance account, and that changed my life. And that's why changing the world through finance is my passion, Ragnar.
As I said, it's going to be perfect. Beautiful. We all have this something that is unique about us, and that's why people love to do business with us. That's why people are our friends. That's why our spouses are choosing us. What would you say? What is your, how do you distinguish yourself in business and in life?
You will see that I sometimes tell a lot of things using stories, but I have also a story to say something about this that you were asking me. When I mentioned to my friends that I was going to study finance, the father of a very good friend of mine approached me and said, "Roberto, I have an advice for you. You're going to study finance, and maybe you're going to be very money oriented. But I want to advise you that do whatever you like and love, and do not think about money, and think about helping others, doing what's make you happy, and money will come after in abundance." And that's why I think that's distinguished me. I try to help people, not thinking in money. Everyone needs money, and everyone needs money in order to have a good life. But what I think is helping people. If you give value to the others, if you help the others to be better, money will come after that to you with no problem, with no hesitation. And that's my belief. And I think that's what distinguishes me. And my clients see that on me and they trust me. And because I try truly to help them to to um, to achieve their goals. And that's the thing with me.
Beautiful. We can't really stop talking about the pandemic, the situation, the health crisis, and I think it also helps all the entrepreneurs which are watching, and the majority of the viewers are entrepreneurs. So, what would you say? You are, with all the experience that you have as a leader with extensive experience in corporate and personal finances and strategies and corporate governance, how the world and the financial industry has changed in your eyes, considering the health crisis?
Oh, that's a very good question, and thank you for asking. I think COVID has changed a lot of things around all industries. Talking about finance, what I believe that companies learn, many of them learn, some of them didn't have even the chance to learn it because they had to close. But the ones that had the chance to keep on business and to learn a lot of things is that you can stress your company to a level that you didn't even imagine in some point, and you learn to try to do things that you didn't have like uh, the idea that you could be able to, like for instance, reduce the production time in your company, reduce the headcount, or reduce the number of hours that you have employees in your company. Also, another thing that I believe that companies learn is to work in distance. uh, Remote work, I think, is something that came to stay in every company. It depends on the specific industry, but I think everyone in some point or in some level, we love to work from home. It has a lot of advantages. For some people, they don't have those advantages, but I think that's what companies learn. And also, one thing that all the industries learn is to make teams and to help each other, not to do some like what we call co-competition, cooperation with competition. Because like restaurants, a lot of restaurants in different cities in all parts of the world came together and make different strategies in order to keep in business, like delivery, like having different menus, reduce working hours, sharing kitchens. A lot of strategies are around that. That also happened with hotels. That also happened with finance. And also one thing that, landing on what you ask, is like banks and the financial industry around the world learn that they can help companies also be more flexible. A lot of banks give more time to pay debt. A lot of banks give some support to the companies. They increase credit lines and they help companies to stay in business because of that. So I think everyone learned in the world that with COVID, everyone is able to help. And if you're having a good goal and you're having a good company that has a good purpose, if you help them, they will keep on business. And that's something that everyone learned, I think, because of COVID.
Beautiful. It's very true, because I think that there, at least there needs to be a win-win. If they don't really help the entrepreneurs, then what the next step is? If we all go bankruptcy, what where the world really goes, no? So that's the thing.
Correct. You're totally right. And I think everyone learned to be flexible, to be more open to new things, like working from home. Uh, Before pandemic, everyone was like very sensitive to being work, not to show their home or to be with their kids during work time. Now it's very common that we have kids with us and be interrupt in a meeting because someone in house needs something. The other day I have to share that I was in this big level, high level meeting here in the state of Jalisco with the governor team, and one of the main executive for the government was saying something, and suddenly heard his daughter came and asked something like, "Dad, do you want ice cream? What flavor you want? Vanilla or strawberry?" And it was hilarious for everyone. It was something very natural. But before pandemic, it will be like hard to understand it. So this is something that we all understand now, that we live with families, and family can be involved in your business if that is needed, if you need also to work from home.
Well, you just saw what was happening in the other side of the camera. That was the exact thing.
Really?
I understand. So very, very true. I think we all needed to pivot and find the new ways, and obviously that throws us out of our comfort zone. But let's talk about the people that you serve and the entrepreneurs that you help. What are the usually not maybe even not that much of concentrating on the health crisis, but what are in your eyes the common challenges that the entrepreneurs have when they come to you?
Well, that's a very good question. Uh, First, the first challenge that they have is to develop a very good and a strong business model that they can serve a specific market. They have the enough size in order to make it a business, and that is something that they have to be focused on. But the first thing that they also have to be focused on is on early stage funding. That is something that is very needed, and it's very hard for the companies, the startups, to find the right partner, the right funding for them in order to start growing. But many of them have to first really review their business model and have a strong business model so they can provide a good service and develop it. But early stage finance in order to make a prototype, to bring it to the market and test it, that is the one of the biggest challenges that they have, and many others challenges also, like having a good partner. Many of the entrepreneurs, they don't really know what they're going to face. They think if I start a company in 1 year, I will be rich and I will be competing against Google or Facebook or like whatever. That is not true. They have to be realistic, and they have to understand that building a company comes from effort, comes from a lot of work, the right partners, the right funding, the right business model, a lot of things around that, and that's the biggest challenge, to understand that the route for the entrepreneur is not easy, but has a lot of satisfactions around it.
It's all about associations. With whom do we associate on our business lives, and not to mention our social lives? We know all always how we are seen, and based on that, the power of environment is really, really I think important to mention. And I think you, as a international speaker, and also talking on those topics, and being like a mentor. Just the story that you gave as a online mentor, someone was just hearing your tips and really acted on them. I think that's really what entrepreneurship is, because we need to find those spots where we can really grow and really see the point where do we ask for the advice, We can't really, and there, I think this is where we make the main mistake as well. And I would like your comment on that, because usually when we have a new idea, or especially business idea, we go with our family or friends or neighbor who do not have that experience, who do not know about that type of business, or they don't know anything about the business. And there's two ways: whether they kill the idea, or whether they encourage you, but they're in all the wrong ways. So you're not really on the right path. What would you say? Like, why is it so important to ask the advice from an expert who really has the results and can you take you there?
Yes, that's a very good point that you have there, Ragnar, because you have to be able to approach people that has the same experience that you, that they succeed starting their business. And also you have to be close to your market, to your real market. And I totally understand that, and that I think that's a first stage of testing your product, to approach your family and friends, and they give you advice. But sometimes, but after that, you have to approach your real market and be close to them, and they taste what they want, taste the product with them, make that test to them, and see that the product works, they like it. It doesn't matter what you do. It can be a service, a product. It can be swimming wear, or it can be an app. They have to test the app and see if there is something that they truly need, and to see if you have the market. And after that, you start pivoting in order to make the changes that they are needed, that there is needed in order to improve your product, your service. And that is very important. And be close to people that have the experience, and be close to accelerators or incubators, in order to receive advice, and so they can help you to grow your business.
We have talked here and there little about the projects that you are involved. One was your company. You mentioned the TV career. Share us more. I know that you are involved in more projects, and who do you serve there?
Well, thank you very much. In Bursar, we help and serve different sectors or industries. We serve the real estate industry. We have big projects on that. We're helping to different developers in order to get the funding for different type of projects, like hotels, commercial centers, condos, etc. A big part of our business is on the real estate, but also we are helping companies to grow in areas as food, as agro services, the farm industries, health, and in other areas. And that is in the startups. We help a lot of startups. I have to share that we have startups that have participated in the Shark Tank, and that that we help them to participate in Shark Tank. They receive funding from the sharks in the show in Mexico. So that's something that we do. But another thing that I'm doing that is kind of new, and I said it's a COVID son, because it was born during the social distancing. It's called Aldea Financiera. And in Aldea Financiera, what I'm doing is a tribe that brings together people that wants to learn more about personal finance and wants to have a personal growth. Because what I believe also is that if you grow personally, you will be able to have a better finance, but you're not money driven only. You also have a transcendent objectives, and that helps a lot. So Aldea Financiera is a place to gather in order to share around the fire, as in all times, experiences, knowledge, and change it and exchange it between people, so they can learn more and and improve themselves. That's the main thing that we are doing right now.
So we talked about mentors, and we talked about the importance. if I ask you who or what inspires you, besides, I'm pretty sure you have family, Mexicans always bring their family forefront. But besides that, what would you say? What really or who really inspires you on a daily basis?
Well, what inspires me is the possibility that people has a better life, and that people can have an inspired life for their families, and they'll help their families to grow also. And that idea of having better people, and give an idea in some board, in a specific meeting, in the TV, and people can hear it and change their life and improve it. That's what inspires me. And I believe that when you have a good purpose, when you prepare yourself and you want to share good things with people, and that's that things that you share, people can learn from it. Maybe not immediately, but in time they can reflect on that, and also start changing their lives and the way they behave. They can change a lot of things. They can change the world, and that's what inspires me, to be able to give an idea and help people to improve.
Beautiful. I mentioned in intro that you're also the creator of very interesting method, which is positive trend model. Who do you serve with that method?
Oh, thank you. Positive trend model is a consultant and advisory model that was created in Bursar. And we created that because sometimes companies that approach us and ask us for help, like for some businessmen say, "Hey, I'm very tired right now of my company. I want to sell it, and I want you to help me to do that." But when we review, the company is not in very good shape. Say income is decreasing, or the margins are very low, they're not having enough clients, the product is not in the best shape. So we create this model in order to help companies to accelerate their profits, and to be better, and to improve and expand. And how we do that? The positive trend model has three main areas where we work in companies. The first area is strategic planning, because if companies know where they're going, what are their plans, what they're heading for, what they want, is very powerful. And everyone inside the company, if everyone inside the company knows that, everyone is working in order to achieve those goals. The second thing that we work with companies in the model is financial planning, because you, with a strategy, you know where you're going, but with financial planning, you know with what money you're going to do what you want. How much money do you need? Where are you going to use your proceeds in order to achieve your goals? And that's what we do in financial planning. Projections, budgets, those type of tools that we provide to the companies. And the third area that we work is corporate governance, because if the company knows where they're going, with what money, and who is going to do it in the company, is very powerful. And for that, we help companies in order to build their board of advisors. We help the company in order to have procedures, policies, description of all the positions in the company. We help the companies in order to have that, and that's very powerful. And we have seen very successful growth stories from company. I have to tell you, one time a specific client came and say, "I want to close my company. I'm tired. I want you to help me to close my company." We review the company and we say to the client, "Hey, wait 1 year, and we can apply positive trend model and see what happens. After that year, if you want to close the company, we will help you." And we apply the model. The company is starting a grow path. So we kept the employees. The company was growing, selling more, in very shape. And after the year, we approached the businessman and say, "Hey, If you want, now we can sell your company. And he said, no, 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 I want to keep it. I'm enjoying it right now. I have profits, I'm growing, I have project. So that's what happens when we apply the positive trend model to a specific company.
Ooh, I really hope that you, who you are watching, you are taking notes, because if you apply them, if you take action, we all know that we can create the changes that we want in our life. But Roberto, how do you see the future? What the future really brings you personally and professionally?
Well, I have to share now that I'm finishing my first book. It's called I Can Get There, Puedo Llegar in Spanish. And it's a book that tells about the path for growth, personal growth, and that people can achieve their goals if they truly want. Because what I mentioned in the book, if I had the chance to do it, everyone can do it. Uh, One of the there is one film that I love from Will Smith. I don't know if you remember that film. It's called, I think, the Path to Happiness, or it's a movie that he's trying to get a job in a brokerage house in a big financial firm, and that he sell medical scanners for having a living. In that moment, he loses his wife, and he sleeps in the subway with his son in the restroom of a subway because he doesn't have any money. He was taken off his apartment, and that is a movie that is very hard. And when I started my business, I have to say that I thought that I might have a lot of problems, and I was very afraid that I had to sleep in the subway with my family with no home for me. And it was something that gave me a lot of I was afraid of that. But if you have a good purpose, if you have a business plan, if you are straight with your customers, and you give the best of you, you can achieve whatever you want. And that's what I say in that book. So in the future, what I'm trying to do is to finish my book, try to grow Aldea Financiera so we have much members, and also grow the Bursar in different parts of Mexico and in the US. We are opening, we now have an office in Florida, and we are hoping that we can grow the business there. So in order to help more people.
Beautiful. So I want to thank you, everybody who you showed up today. Again, to remind you, because by doing so, you are truly investing in yourself, and that means that you're investing in yourself as a leader, as someone who has their priority as their personal growth method. So I do hope that you have taken notes. If not, go back to this video and take notes. Roberto is about to give us his 3 recommendations how to dominate the decade. Those you need to write down, and what to do with those, I will continue after he gives them to us. But if you also have any questions, comments, then please leave them below the video, and also sharing is caring. So Roberto, which are your 3 recommendations how to dominate the decade?
Well, thank you, Ragnar. Well, I will say that I will give you one recommendation in order to dominate the decade, not 3, but it includes 6 types of recommendations for everyone. And because I believe there are 6 types of wealth or richness for people. The first one, and I wish this for everyone that is watching, and for everyone who wants to dominate the decade, is the first one is freedom. We all have the freedom in order to do whatever we want. We can we can do whatever we want, and we can do and serve well to people. That's something that is a source of wealth. The second one is having significant relationships. If we have significant relationship, we can have even a better life and a longer life and a more significant one. There is one town in Japan called Okinawa. It's a small island, and researchers find that people in Okinawa, many of them live more than 100 years. And they wanted to know why. And they found out that everyone in Okinawa feels part of the community. And they're being part of that community is because they feel that they have something to give, and they receive a lot of love and support from all the community. So having significant relationship is very important for happiness and for wealth for everyone. The third one is money, of course. Everyone has to work with for money. You have to take care of your money, so that's very important. The fourth one is health. Take care of your health. If you take care of your health, you also will have a very strong source of wealth. It's not enough to try to eat well and do exercise. You have to have a balance in your life and have health, mental health also. And the fifth source of wealth is spirituality. Have a very good balance between body, mind, and spirit. That's very important. Things that you show and you suggest in your show, Ragnar, that is great, by the way, to tell you that you have a great show, and I'm very pleased to be here. But the sixth one is time. If you can use your time for whatever you like, that is a source of wealth. So I will review the six: freedom, significant relationships, money, health, a good and healthy spirituality, and time. That's my recommendations for everyone here in the dominated decade.
Beautiful. We are going to give a little bonus to everybody who is watching us, and especially those of you who are investing in real estate. Roberto, tell us why today someone should take the opportunity to invest in real estate, and specifically, what are the opportunities that lie in Mexico for doing so?
Good, very good question, Ragnar. Well, real estate is a great opportunity for making investments. The interest rates are very low, not only for credit, but also for investors. So investors have to find new ways to improve the profitability of their investments. So real estate is a great opportunity. Mexico is a great country. There are many opportunities in the country, but one that I like a lot is Cabo. And I believe Cabo is a great opportunity to invest. And why? If you haven't been there in the last 2 years, you should go and see what is happening there. You have people that are investing there. Everyone is the real estate is growing and it's selling up very fast pace. And you have sports guys are sports stars that are investing, rock stars that are investing, businessmen from the US that are investing. Everything is growing. It has a lot of increasing in prices. So investing in real estate has two things. You receive, if you buy a condo in order to put it in Airbnb, you receive the proceeds for the leases or the rent of your condo, but also you receive the increase in price that you have on time because owning that specific condo in a place that prices are going up. That is very important because you can invest real estate in a place that prices are not that, they are good, they are cheap, but they are not increasing. It's better to invest in a place that is growing, even though the prices are not the cheapest, but on the time, you're going to have a better profit if you do that, if you only search for a cheap place to invest. Cabo is a great place for that. And I have seen all the places in Mexico. I've been in San Miguel de Allende, Cancun, Mexico City, a lot of places, also Guadalajara, where I live. But Cabo is a wonderful place, and that's my recommendation if you allow me to do that.
Beautiful. So if now you think, okay, I should go for it, then for sure. Roberto, how can someone follow you? How can they contact you? Whether they have any questions about anything that we discussed today?
Thank you. Well, you can Google me and you will find me. I'm very easy to find. I'm very active in social media, but you can find me as Roberto Arechederra on Twitter. At Larechet is my nickname in Twitter, but also as Aldea Financiera. I'm very active reading all the messages, all the contacts that people do, and all the questions that they have. You will receive a direct answer from me. And I love to answer all the questions. If someone has an investment question, has a personal question for personal finance, I would love to help them if I can. So and you can find me in Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. In YouTube, I have my TV show, Aldea Financiera. You can find it there.
Beautiful. And for those who you are watching from Europe, LinkedIn is also where he has his profile. So follow
Correct.
or send a message there. So Europeans are usually using that channel. So that's why I mentioned that.
And Ragnar, if you allow me, I can say that they can also see an interview in Aldea Financiera program that I made to you a couple of weeks ago. So
Yes,
it's a
indeed.
great, what was a great interview. So everyone can watch it if they want also.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Roberto, if what would be the last message or no, last note that you want to for people to take from this interview, just as closing notes?
Well, I will say that to people that life is not easy. There is no free lunch. But if you focus yourself and you try really hard, you can achieve whatever you want. And I recommend one book that I read that changed my life, and I want to share with everyone. This book is called The Slight Edge, and it was written by Jeff Olson. And he says this: small changes in your life during a long period of time will make extraordinary changes for you. Small changes applying it daily on a short time basis, in the long term time, you will make extraordinary changes for you. Like, let me give you a small example. If you go to the gym today and work out for 4 hours, and if this is your first time after 2 years of not going, not doing any exercise, it's not going to be good for you, even though that exercise and working out is good, because you're going to be very sore after 4 hours of exercise. But if you exercise today or work out today for 20 minutes, and tomorrow 20 minutes, and after that 20 minutes, and you keep doing that for a year, I'm very sure that in 1 year you're going to be in better shape than now, and that improves yourself. So that's the message, the final message that I want to give to everyone, to try to make small changes, but keep them on time.
Beautiful. I want to thank you, Roberto, for taking this time to share your knowledge, your wisdom, everything, all the nuggets with everybody that took the time to be here. Also, I want to thank you who you show up every Thursday, because without you, it would not be possible. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. And we all know today, you have the chance to change your life. How? By taking action, a massive action on those notes that were just shared by Roberto. But not only you can change your life, you can change someone else's life. How? By sharing this video. Because you never know who has to hear the message this day. And this day is going to be the day that they start their new life. So become the hero in your own life by taking action, and become the hero in someone else's life by sharing the video. I will see you in next week. Write me, send your comments. I love you. Send you lots of love and see you next week.